2015, an elite DFS Army Commando unit formed to bring high-level DFS strategy to the masses. Today, hated by DFS sharks and lineup sellers alike, they continue their quest to turn Joe into DFS pros.
The NBA Daily Dispatch brought to you by DFSArmy.com. If you're not signed up with the Army yet, make sure you do so. Go to the website. Use the promo code PODCAST. Get yourself 20% off each month of your subscription. With that, you get access to the Domination Station, VIP articles, and all sorts of content. Don't forget about our 24/7 Slack chat channel that we got going on as well. Folks, you got NBA, NFL, all kinds of sports that you can get down with us for, all for one nice package price. Just use the promo code PODCAST at DFSArmy.com. I'm your host, Sal Walsh. Find me on Twitter at 14a.walsh. Find my buddy Keith Hall, who's always joining me on the podcast here. Find him at Boomer's DFS Daddy over there on Twitter. So we lead this life of DFS touting and whatnot, and nothing in the handbook on how to handle last night.
No. No. Although we did firmly tell everybody in the Army to not play the one Anthony Davis. And to be fair, it's not because we predicted an injury, because we don't predict injuries, just like we don't predict blowouts. But with that said, I mean, Jimmy Butler, he did what he's going to do, and he was kind of highly owned in the Army because the Domination Station loved him. And then Tim Hardaway Jr. has reverted to his best I don't even know who to compare him to at this time. Rod Carew playing basketball.
Oh my!
But it's one of those nights that you don't even go back and look at where you went right and where you went wrong. You just kind of chalk it up. The NBA is going to NBA and go on and keep trucking. So. Head-to-head update from last night, 15 head-to-heads, won 5 of them, had Jimmy Butler and Tim Hardaway Jr. in the lineup. So that tells you what kind of night it was. So yeah, it's just kind of one of those things. You can't predict it, so don't even try and don't even worry about it. Just chalk it up and let's build that bankroll back up.
Keep on trucking. Now, you know how they always say, or coaches will always say, yeah, we're just going to take that game film out back and go burn it. Well, we're going to burn it, and then we're going to shoot it in the face. So, yes, there's no need for any recap on last night. I mean, hey, it was funny because we had some people actually do pretty well. A lot of our higher volume players actually lucked out just because, you get a nice total based off of other people screwing up too. I mean, I did a late slate. I was just, I said, to hell with this. I'm just going to throw like $2 at the late slate and see what happens. I almost took the damn thing down, but nonetheless, I did not. I am still eating cereal in the morning, not a full-on omelet and breakfast buffet at my home. That'd be pretty good. That, isn't that what you would do with the big winnings? Have a breakfast buffet at home?
No, I have a breakfast buffet every morning. You forget I've got an 18-month-old son that.
Oh, I don't forget.
He eats, dude. He chow down. Like right now, he's chowing down veggie straws. He's double fisting with the passy in one hand and veggie straws in the other.
Why?
And this is after he ate a bowl full of Cheerios and a banana, and he'll probably eat about 3 more times before dinner, before Mama gets home. So.
My goodness. Yeah, my version of a breakfast buffet is a bagel with my cereal. But Hey, nobody cares about that. Let's get into it because we got a massive slate today. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6,
10.
7, 8, 9, 10 games.
All
I
you gotta do
never
is
count them.
ask. I was responsible. I
I
wrote
kind
them
of
down on my calendar that's sitting right in front of my face above my Rockies gnomes. Like, I can look at the date and go, we have 10 games in the NBA. We have 5 tomorrow, 7 on Friday, 8 on Saturday. You know, I can give you this information. I am prepared until the end of the year, and then we're screwed.
I might do that from now. Although, I mean, me counting them on air is sort of a time-honored tradition. But let's get into it. We've got 2 teams on the back end of. No, I'm sorry. Detroit was not on the back end of a back-to-back last night. But the Timberwolves are, and they're coming into Detroit. T-Wolves actually were favored by -1 at the open. That has changed mightily. I'm sorry, they were favored by 3 at the open. I gotta get my bearings about me here. Pistons now favored by 1 in this game. We got a total of 209 here. Detroit has won the last 4 meetings against the Timberwolves. 3 of the last 4 T-Wolves Pistons games have gone over the total. Couple injury news here. Jimmy Butler obviously missed last night's game. Going to be questionable with that illness tonight.
He's playing.
He's going to play. Keith says Justin Patton going to be out, of course, rehabbing the foot still. And then from the Pistons, 2 minor scratches that nobody really gives a shit about. So let's start with the Pistons.
Are you saying Bojan Boban Marjanovic is not important?
Well, yeah, in the DFS
He's just
landscape
inactive.
of things.
No,
Yes.
in the DFS aspect of escape of things, if he ever got a strong amount of minutes, oh my God.
But he doesn't, so he's useless in my opinion. He's just a sideshow freak on the bench. All right, let's talk about the Pistons. Yes, but she can't be in the sideshow circus. We got the Pistons here. Let's talk about this. Andre Drummond, who I wrote down as Andrew Drummond, that is nowhere near as good a center. At least 40 DraftKings points, 36 FanDuel points in each of his last 5 meetings against the Timberwolves. And I'm looking at another situation here with the point guards from the Detroit Pistons. I know it's early, but Timberwolves are allowing the most fantasy points per game to point guards this season.
Yeah, they are. I don't mind a Reggie Jackson. He is kind of expensive for my taste. This is a place where you want to attack. I just don't like attacking. Like, Reggie Jackson at 6,900 is not appeasing for me. And Ish Smith at 3,900 is appeasing, but not at 20 minutes. If I knew that that Ish was going to get more than 20 minutes, I would like that a little bit more. But he kind of goes over 20, then under 20, then over 20, and he hasn't even broke 20 fantasy points this season. So,
which is incredible because his preseason was amazing, even with Reggie Jackson in the lineup.
Yeah, I mean, you would think with the way that Avery Bradley is struggling here that if Reggie gets going, they can put Reggie at the 2 and run Ish at the 1. But Stan Van Gundy's a traditionalist, and by God, if he gets creative.
There's just no room for that.
Oh, no, absolutely not. You know, I mean, and they have a guy that can play the 1-2 guard behind Avery Bradley as well, but he doesn't get any run because of freaking Bradley is out there for 35 plus minutes a game in Langston Galloway. And it just, I mean, they've got Luke Kennard too, but
Duke.
It's just, it's phenomenal. You want to attack it, you just don't know. You don't feel comfortable attacking it with either one of these two.
Yeah, I would have to agree. Now, for Reggie Jackson, he is significantly cheaper on DraftKings there at 6,000, so that's an interesting play.
You could probably make an argument for that then.
Okay.
It's not a strong one, but you could make one.
With the Timberwolves on the back end of a back-to-back, it's interesting. Of course, Jimmy Butler being available would certainly help things for, help things here for the Timberwolves. That's something I would look at. Maybe Ish gets a little more run in a game that gets out of hand. We gotta see, but again, I don't know if the Pistons are gonna be putting anybody behind the shed and whooping that ass.
Yeah, watch this. This is where we're gonna be able to tell whether or not Jimmy Butler's actually gonna be playing, is if this line moves in the Minnesota Timberwolves' favor. So
yes.
The more it starts to swing towards Minnesota, the more likelihood that Jimmy Butler is playing. So, but if it stays a Detroit favorite, then it's looking like he's. I'm pretty positive that he's going to play, because you don't just automatically just all of a sudden go, oh, yep, we're not playing. I mean,
maybe if we put our NBA conspiracy tinfoil hats on here for a second, maybe this was the Timberwolves saving Jimmy on the front end of a back-to-back.
Well, that's going to happen a lot this year. I mean, cue X-Files theme.
That's what that was.
Gonna
it was
happen.
terrible, but I'm glad that you heard it.
Guys, understand that is going to happen. There's going to be these made-up illnesses, and really, honestly, what I want to start doing, and maybe we need to look into this, is trying to get like a shoot-around practice report. You know how we have practice reports for the NFL? I want to know who is at shoot-around, because evidently there was information that Jimmy Butler wasn't at shoot-around, and nobody knew. We did not hear that once.
Interesting. I did not know that.
Now, that's what I hear from the Twitter sphere, so
okay.
I'll have to look and see, as freaking DFS Twitter is still buzzing about not having late swaps for big tournaments.
But nobody called it. Any interest here from the Timberwolves, who, again, are on the back end of a back-to-back?
Andrew Wiggins. If Jimmy Butler plays, then I'm locking and loading. I don't care if it is Stanley Johnson. I mean, it's Jimmy Butler. And unless the guy's an elite defender, I'm not shying away from that. And plus, this is the perfect Jimmy Butler troll spot.
Sure.
So just to let everybody know, right now we do have Jimmy Butler in the domination station, and he is projected for 37 minutes.
Excellent. Now, I mentioned Jamal Crawford yesterday without even knowing that Jimmy Butler would have the bubble.
That was a good call, and it looked even better later in the day.
But yeah, so he ended up getting 29 minutes last night, absolutely crushing his value, nearly 10 times that. So, and again, it was Shabazz Muhammad getting the start, but Jamal Crawford coming off the bench with that second unit, just absolutely dominating the usage and everything. That it ended up working out pretty well. Will that happen again? If Butler plays, I would not bank on it. But keep in mind that even with Butler in the lineup, he did have two 20-point performances. So, I don't know. It could even on DraftKings. I don't even know if that's going to work out because he's 3,900. It's not like he's min price. So just keep that in mind for tonight.
Who? Jamal Crawford?
Jamal Crawford, yeah.
Yeah, he's 39 on FanDuel. I like him a little bit better over there, or 36 on FanDuel. Sorry.
Yeah.
I like him a little bit better over there than on DraftKings. But I mean, and honestly, let me ask you this, okay? As a single lineup tournament guy.
Right.
If we get news, say, 90 minutes before lock that Jimmy Butler's not going to play tonight because this is one of the first games, are you fading Jamal Crawford? Because he's one of the he's going to be one of the go-to sources for value tonight.
Right.
And his ownership's going to be high. Are you willing to take that fade?
I am, and the only reason, back end of a back-to-back. It's the only reason.
Now, is that just because it's early in the season, or because
Well, again, if you're telling me that Jamal Crawford's going to be like 50% owned or something like that, I'll take that chance because he's on a back-to-back. And again, we have seen Jamal Crawford just, can't hit the ocean in certain games before. So
Certain games, he did it for about half the season last year. But
about half his career. But
yeah, but the other half of his career, he could throw it up backwards and.
Right. Yeah, I think if we know he's going to be highly owned, yeah, sure, I'll take that fade chance. There's 10 games too, so yeah, I could look for value elsewhere. All right. Any other T-Wolves interests?
No.
Nope, that is good. All right.
Wait, actually, sorry. Karl Anthony Towns, I think, is in another good spot.
All right.
He kind of poo-pooed the bed last night. I mean, he still ended up not bad, 42.5.
He loves that 40 range so far.
Yeah, he's just been really consistent right there. But
well, I want to know, did he outscore Vuk? Well, you did, right?
I'm looking. Let's see.
Enhance.
Oops.
I think he definitely did.
Jeez. Yes, he did. Nikola Vucevic only got 32.3, which I called, by the way.
Ha! In your face, donuts. All right.
In your face, Al Walsh.
I did not say. I was on Team Cat over Vuk.
Oh, okay.
I made that clear.
So.
All right, let's go to Houston Rockets -3 at the Philadelphia 76ers. Got a total 225 at the open, has since dropped down to 220.5. Rockets have won the last 4 meetings against the Sixers, and 3 of the last 4 Rockets-Sixers meetings have gone over the total. For the Rockets, Chris Paul, Trevor Ariza, and Nene Hilario have all been ruled out with their individual ailments. And for the Sixers, number 1 draft pick of last season, Markelle Fultz, is out with the shoulder injury, and Rashawn Holmes is out, but nearing a return with that wrist injury. So, obviously, well, I shouldn't even say obviously, because we've got 2 triple-double monsters here in this game all of a sudden, after Simmons gets his first one last game.
Can he really be a triple-double monster after one?
Can I exaggerate for a second here, right? Jesus. So James Harden has not hit his salary-based expectations once yet this season. However, last season at Philly, 97.8 DraftKings points, 87.1 FanDuel points. He's also posted one that was near 72 DraftKings points, 64 FanDuel points against the Sixers 2 seasons ago. Again, with Ariza, Nene, Chris Paul all out of the lineup, going to have to do a lot more heavy lifting. And heavy lifting means a lot more scoring. So, 11-6 on both sites tonight. I like it.
I love it.
Yeah.
And James Harden, congratulations for still only being second best in fantasy points. Highest game scored last season.
What a shot.
Got to take the shots where I got them. Yeah, I mean, I think that we were talking about it in one of our DMs this morning. I think Eric Gordon is going to be a very, very popular play today, considering the game he had the other night against the Memphis Grizzlies, and with Trevor Ariza and Chris Paul out. I'm willing to take the game theory angle of that and fade and say this is going to be a James Harden day. I will take my exposure with James Harden over Eric Gordon. I'm not afraid to fade Eric Gordon. Do I think that he's in a good spot? Yes. Do I think that he could, have a good game? Yes. Do I think that the profit potential is there? No. And we know that the majority floor is not as high as Harden, and the majority, and let's just face it, you just rattle off those numbers, the ceiling's not nearly as high as KD switches Binks from one hand to the other. So, yeah, I like all that stuff. I think
I completely agree with you. I feel like this is gonna be a Harden night. It's about freaking time that it's a Harden night. So, yeah. And again, you know damn well probably not gonna have a lot of exposure to Harden. I mean, look, and it's just based off of what's happened this season, right? Early in this, we were talking about this yesterday in the Slack chat channel. Early on in the season, you're gonna see a lot more recency bias than you probably would. So yeah, I have a feeling maybe people have just thought, oh man, well, Harden's not worth the price anymore because Gordon's in town. But
I
don't
want you to
think
remember that
I don't think
for
the
a
two are
conversation
exclusive.
later on.
Okay.
Because Eric Gordon was there last year. And that's what a lot of people aren't realizing. Like, he had Eric Gordon, and then later in the season, he had Eric Gordon and Lou Williams.
Right.
One would start and the other, I'm sorry, I can't help the fact that it's a broom and a tomato talking to each other.
Yeah, man, that's crazy.
Veggie straws. But it's kind of one of those things, like, you've got to understand that without Chris Paul in the lineup, James Harden is going to revert to being a usage monster. I know what the usage numbers say for this season. I'm willing to bet that those normalize, and I'm willing to bet that James Harden is probably up over 40% usage tonight, minimum.
Ooh, those kind of numbers make brother go ooh. Yeah, I could certainly get down with that. Now the injuries with all these other guys, I mean, that should certainly open some things up. I think we got some fantastic value here from the Rockets side of things. So of course, Gordon not necessarily the value guy, but we gotta take a look. Ryan Anderson, PJ Tucker, Luke Mabamute. There's going to be phenomenal value.
Luke what?
All those guys. Luke Mabamute. Mabamute.
It's Luke Mbamute.
Luke Mbamute. Okay, I can see where you're going with that. Okay. But yeah, I like all three of those guys. And if you really want to get crazy, now no Nene, I'm sure we're probably going to see some minutes out of Tariq Black. I mean, you got to look at the price now, more or less on DraftKings, 3,300. I could be influenced in that way. If you're looking for your deep punt to fit the studs in tonight, like let's just say right now this is a tournament theory here, okay? You got Clint Capella there. What if he gets in foul trouble against Embiid? Like their only big option.
I don't like playing the what ifs.
Well, I'm saying,
and,
all right,
okay, so
entry.
You play that angle, I play this angle. Nene has not played more than 17 minutes at all this season.
Okay.
Would you say that Tariq Black is more talented than Nene?
You might think I'm crazy, but I think they're on the same playing surface.
Okay, so if they're on the same playing surface, you're thinking a ceiling of 20?
Yeah.
Not enough.
Okay.
Not enough.
Fair enough.
You're taking a huge risk because they could easily, if Capella moves to foul trouble, they could easily move Ryan Anderson down to the 5 and put LRM at the 4, Harden at the 1, Gordon at the 2, and PJ Tucker at the 3.
Yeah, they could. I mean, but again, with Embiid on the court, you would think they need a big body in there, and Ryan Anderson just is not that guy.
Okay, but they're not really.
We don't need to spend an hour.
No. But
Black.
you just brought up a good point, and I'm saying I would rather. I'm not saying that Tariq Black's in play. He could. I mean, well, have they called up Zoki?
They have, but I'm sorry. I don't know.
Anyways, go back to my original point. I'm not saying that Tariq Black is not going to be part of the offense because he could definitely get some minutes. But what I'm saying is like if Nene is out and if they're going to go to this smaller lineup when Embiid's on the court, or even if like Ryan Anderson becomes the de facto 5 if Capella's in foul trouble, which is a game we don't like to play, just like the injury and the blowout factor. But if we're going hypothetical what ifs, that just makes me like Embiid all that much more, and just to stay away from the Houston Rocket front court.
I could see it.
But because he's gonna, it doesn't matter if it's Capella. Like Nene would be the only one that I would be scared of. But it doesn't matter if it's Capella or not, because Embiid's gonna dominate this front court anyways.
Keep in mind with Tariq Black, 12 minutes in his only performance this season, 20 FanDuel points.
Oh, he's a...
We know. All right. Enough about Tariq Black. That's all I got from the Rockets side of things. Right? We're good?
Yep.
Okay. All right, let's talk about the Sixers. And one of our users here, not our users, one of our subscribers here, Jamie Campbell, actually had a good point that I wanted to bring up here. For those who don't know Jamie in the Slack chat channel, he is Jamie C. That you will see in the Slack chat channel. But he brought up a good point. Maba Mute probably going to guard Ben Simmons tonight. And last season, you take a look at the numbers, there were a couple of guys on there. He defended the Greek twice, defended LeBron in that time span as well. In those 3 games, an average of 36.6 DraftKings points in there. Given all this, are you somewhat worried about Simmons tonight?
I overlooked Simmons, Monday, and
Right.
I swore that I wouldn't do it again. I looked deep into this matchup, and I figured out that, yes, I am not playing Ben Simmons at 8,800.
Interesting. Now, because of the Mabamute factor, or
Yes, because of Luke Richard Mbamute.
I don't think there's a Richard in there. I think it's just Luke Mabamute.
No, his middle name is Richard.
Is it?
Yes.
Good for him, classing up the joint. All right, sounds
He's
good.
from Cameroon.
All right. Yeah, so we do have Joel Embiid, who you mentioned. I think that's pretty interesting play. For me, I'm not an Embiid guy in fantasy just because of that minutes cap.
Yeah, but if his minutes are 28, what is his price today? 8,600 on DraftKings.
8 on DraftKings, 86 on FanDuel.
I'm watching. I'm sitting here listening to this, and I'm like, how is a guy at a 27-minute cap freaking like 8,800?
Yeah.
Like, that just goes to show you, if he could ever get on the floor for 35 minutes, what kind of, like, we're looking at another Boogie Cousins at the center position.
Who, by the way, fantastic night last night.
Who we called. Now, everybody, well, you expected AD to play. Well, yeah, I called it no matter what, but it just, AD going out just made it that much sweeter.
It's funny, right? Because if a guy does well, right, you'll get the, oh, yeah, but blah, blah, blah. And then if the guy doesn't do well,
we get blasted.
You say, well, the guy took 15 shots. They were just, they weren't falling, but, oh, but it doesn't matter. Results over. Yes, I know. This is, again, as I mentioned at the top of the show, this is the life that we lead.
Yeah.
All right. So Embiid, fine. Robert Covington, interesting here, right? So last season he had 2 god awful performances against the Rockets, but the year before that, he goes for about 63 DraftKings points, 58 FanDuel points, and then a 42 DK, 39 FD. A lot of that had to do with steals. He had, not last season, but the year before, he had 12 steals in 2 games against the Rockets. I know one of those games last year, he was guarding Harden, and he got into ridiculous foul trouble. Brett Brown ended up benching him. I remember these things because I'm a freakazoid. But this is certainly a spot I can go back to Robert Covington. Actually, both sites. He's very cheap there today. 57 on DK, 61 on FanDuel. I'm intrigued.
Yeah, I do like Robert Covington today. I think he's 61 on FanDuel. He hasn't really had that type of game this season outside of the first game where he was just absolutely unconscious. You give me 30 minutes at 6,100 with his type of upside to go 45, 50 plus, I'll take it.
Dave. All right. Anything else from this one? We're moving. We mobile?
We're mobile.
We're mobile, baby.
Oh,
All
wait.
right.
One more. If Ben Simmons is going to be guarded by Luke Richard Mbamute, what do you feel about? Let me look here. Never mind. He's not getting the minutes.
Okay.
I was going to say, what do you think about Dario Saric?
I mean, I'm a Dario fan, but we gotta keep that in mind. I'm more of a. I'll be on the sideline. I'll be on the sideline watching that go down, and then once he shows me something, I'll come back around.
Yeah, well, he's not getting the minutes. That's the problem.
Oh, okay, we'll see. I'm not on it, but hey. All right, next game here. Denver Nuggets started out as a pick'em, has since moved to 1.5 point favorites here. They are at the Charlotte Hornets tonight. Total of 213 in this game. The injuries in this one, we've got Juancho Hernangomez is going to be out for about 4 to 6 weeks with some sort of illness. Stay away from that guy. And then on the Hornets, Michael Kidd-Gilchrist, probable to return tonight, but only capped at a 14-minute limit. And then also out for the Hornets, the whole shebang. Nicholas Batum, Cody Zeller, Michael Carter-Williams, Julian Stone, all out tonight for the boys in green and purple with that wonderful color scheme. All right, so for me, I think this is pretty simple for the Nuggets. Nikola Jokic, Paul Millsap. I know you said we don't play them in the same lineup, but whatever. Make a choice between either guy and multiple ones this season or tonight. Jokic, in both meetings against the Hornets last season, just dominated them. 56 DK in one, 52 FDP in the other, and then the second game that he faced.
Keep in mind, hold on.
Let me finish the stat. It's glorious.
Right.
62 DraftKings points, 54.6 FanDuel points.
Keep in mind that was without Dwight Howard. That was going up against Cody Zeller and not Tyler Hansborough. Yeah, it was going up against Cody Zeller
and Frank Kaminsky.
And Frank Kaminsky, so that was without Dwight Howard. So
you pooped on my parade route.
Well, I don't want people to get a false sense of, oh my gosh, You and
your damn truther self. No, but again, I mentioned this earlier in the season last week. During the preseason, every single center that went up against Dwight Howard just had a massive game. And that goes for both types of centers. Your centers that play out on the perimeter, your centers that bang it up down low. Both styles of center managed to just absolutely go to town on him. So, again, I'm not going to be scared of Dwight Howard in the least bit. But I really like Jokic a lot today.
Oh, I love Jokic tonight. It's not even a question of how close it is. As long as he doesn't pull a Nurkic in 3,000 the first 5 minutes,
that'd be awful.
Screw you, freaking Portland coach. How do you not pull him?
That's just god awful. They teach you that on the first day of coaching school. That's the first thing they teach you.
How do you not pull him? You're gonna let that was even another thing that allowed Boogie to go bananas. You've got freaking Myers Leonard out there guarding Boogie Cousins. We've seen that before. It didn't end well. We've seen this movie before. Didn't Myers try to step up to Boogie last year or something?
They are absolutely the best of friends, the two of them.
They have their rivalry there.
They have their own banana boat thing going on.
What, the tanning solution?
No. You know how The no, we're LeBron and Wade and Melo. Remember the banana boat gate?
No, I don't remember that. So
Interesting.
I'll have to look it up. But anyways, yes, that was bad last night. Anyways, Nikola Jokic, yes, absolutely, 100%. Had a breakout game the other night. That's what everybody was waiting on. I'm not hopping off because of the fact that, he went bananas. Guess what? I'm sticking to it. This is a guy that we were paying over 12K or over 10K for at times last year because his usage was just absolutely just unreal. It's not going to be as high because you have Paul Millsap there now, but it's not that it's out of the question for Millsap. For these guys are going to eventually learn to work together, and you're going to be able to play them in the same lineup. I just don't think it's right now because, there hasn't been a lot of time to work with new teammates in game type situations. I mean, there was only four preseason games, so it's kind of one of those things.
And that's unfortunate because this is the premier matchup for guys down low. So we just wish that this would work. Any interest in the front court guys? Maybe a Wilson Chandler, maybe a couple extra minutes without Hernan Gomez. Barton could even pick up some more minutes at the 3. Any interest in those guys?
The whole Gary Harris, Will Barton, Wilson Chandler fiasco. I mean, they're all going to play minutes. None of them are going to excel unless one of them gets hurt. So I think right there you need to. I tried that the other night. I think you need an injury in order to have a little bit of clarity. I do, however, like going back to Jamal Murray.
Okay. You're a Jamal Murray fan.
I love the dude.
I don't mind him. Finally got more minutes in that last game. Any reason why, you think?
Because they hate Emmanuel Mudiay.
Okay, fair enough. That's a good explanation. On the Hornets
they're trying to trade Emmanuel Mudiay and Kenneth Faried to the Suns for Eric Bledsoe.
Yeah, Bledsoe. That's not a bad deal. What do we like?
Jimmy Butler has been ruled out, so I was wrong.
Snap. Okay, here we go.
So,
Jamal Crawford
fade game.
Sorry, Jamal. It's this is just such a cruel business that we're in. Love you one day, hate you the next.
Yep.
Okay, what about from the Hornets? I mean, obviously Kemba Walker, fantastic matchup here.
Yeah, it is. I can't stop picking, especially Crawford at home, or not Crawford. Kemba at home. Like, this is where we like to play him. Kemba Walker at home. So.
Interesting. All right. Yeah, I think you could even get a little excited about Jeremy Lamb in this matchup. 5,600 on both sides. Not a bad idea. Yeah, so I can get down with that. Hey, you didn't see, that's fine. Keith's got to go do some fatherly duties here. You get me solo here for the next couple seconds, but yeah, I think both guys definitely viable here in the backcourt here for the Hornets. I'm not necessarily trying to go down and attack any of these other guys, but I don't know. I mean, maybe Frank Kaminsky could be valuable in this one. Michael Kidd-Gilchrist being back in the lineup isn't necessarily gonna put anybody's minutes out of misery or anything like that. Keep in mind, MKG will be capped at a 14-minute limit here, so I'm not going to worry too much about any of that. But yeah, I think if you're gonna keep it to the Hornets, keep it to the backcourt.
Although,
oh, you're back. Look at that.
Oh yeah, I'm back.
The message I received on Slack was that I would be talking.
I said, keep talking, be right back.
Gotcha.
And I literally, I don't, here's what I was about to say is, I mean, if we look at the usage between, for the bigs, I mean, I know Dwight Howard went off the other night, and I guess in tournaments, he's not a bad option if you want to go there. I'm not going there. I don't like playing Dwight Howard at this point in his career. I think he's a joke.
Yeah.
And it's never any telling. But what I was going to say was Frank Kaminsky has really, really, really played well so far this season. He looks healthy. He looks comfortable. He looks a lot more comfortable playing the 4, so I don't mind going to Frank Kaminsky here.
Okay. Yeah, I mind it. All right, we're all good on this game. Great.
We know that Paul Millsap isn't. I mean, he's not bad in defense, but he's not great either. And I feel like Kaminsky can probably play some of that 4 or that some of the 5 when Marvin Williams comes in too.
All right. And by the way, thank you everybody for the Butler news. Very, very helpful for everyone. While we're very helpful for us while we're recording the pod. So thank you very much. All right. Cleveland.
Everyone, I just gave it to you.
Well, people let us know in the Slack chat. My God, you are not a man of the people.
I didn't know what you were talking about.
All right.
I don't watch the NBA Slack channel while we're recording.
Do I? But when I get the notifications, they pop up in the bottom right. So you got to get that set up. That's a fantastic option. Cleveland Cavaliers minus
the notification window would never go away.
Good point. Minus 6 favorites at the open here has since jumped up 1 point to 7. Big whoop. The total in this one, 227, has remained stationary throughout the night, which is pretty cool. Couple trends.
It's not the only one.
Yeah, a couple trends that are pretty interesting here. Cleveland is 6-1 straight up against the Nets in their last 7 meetings, but they've only covered 3 of those 7 meetings. Interesting. 5 of the last 7 Brooklyn-Cleveland games have gone under the total.
I think
That's
the juice is on the under too. No, it's even money right now.
Probably because the Cavs were. Well, I can't even say it's because they're kicking their ass because they've only covered 3 times. So. Very interesting. Now, both teams are on the back end of a back-to-back here as well, so that might actually be an interesting for all you bettors out there. That might be an interesting number for the under in this game tonight. And keep in mind, 5 of the last 7 have gone under in this series.
Maybe that juice has changed. Yeah, the juice is actually now on the under.
Okay, yeah, so, I mean it makes sense. Both teams
make sense. It makes a lot of sense.
They're both traveling to Brooklyn for this one. So
where was Brooklyn yesterday? In Orlando?
Orlando, yeah.
Okay.
Magical Kingdom. Now for
the
Cleveland,
land of dreams.
Derrick Rose is out with the ankle injury, and Sean Kilpatrick probably going to be out. Birth of his child. Congratulations.
Congrats, Sean. Mr. Killy.
Slick Patrick. So yeah, I think we got some viable plays here, both sides. The King on the back end of a back-to-back. Any worries?
No.
Because that first back end of a back-to-back game on Saturday did not go so well.
Look, this team has looked bad. They looked a lot better last night, but I mean, come on, they allowed the Bulls to be in it until the end. The Bulls.
The Bulls.
I mean, yeah, I'm not. I'm not worried. Look, these guys, these stars, when things start to go bad, these stars are going to revert to how they are. They're going to assert themselves, and we saw that last night with LeBron. I mean, it was just one of those things. It was kind of predictable, and the best thing to happen for us playing LeBron James was the fact that the Bulls came out and jumped up 10. I think it was 12-2 before the Cavs started really kind of getting going. So yeah, that was the best thing to happen to us because it made LeBron go bananas.
LeBron, yeah. I mean, look, you're gonna have LeBron up against a team running the. I believe other teams are, running a faster pace this season. But if we're talking in terms of pace from last season, you're going up against the top pace team, one of the worst defenses, probably if not the worst in the NBA. So I think all that should even out, and LeBron should have a nice night tonight. Probably going to be pretty chalky, when we're looking in terms of the pricing and whatnot. I think you can easily fit him in. So we've got that. Any of these other ancillary Cavs pieces that you like here?
Let's see here. What? Dang it, Cameron. He likes to touch Daddy's keyboard, and it just messed me all up. Let's see here. Kevin Love is interesting just because of the upside. I'm willing to go back to Jay Crowder at 5,500 again. And I don't know what to do with Tristan Thompson.
I wouldn't do anything with him.
How many minutes did he play last night? Do you remember?
I don't know. It's Tristan Thompson.
Yeah, but if he's,
and you know what's crazy?
3,600 on FanDuel. If he's going to play 28 minutes.
I was a Tristan Thompson fan back in the day. Like, that, I had this argument with somebody from my hometown once about, like, when Kevin Love got injured in that playoff game against the Celtics. Oh, man, well, the Cavs' chances are ruined. I'm like, well, number one, LeBron's LeBron, and they've got Tristan Thompson. And they're like, oh, well, who's Tristan Thompson? What is he going to do? He only doubled like every game for the rest of the playoffs. But how the times have changed.
I get that, but if he's playing 28 minutes at $3,600 against the Brooklyn Nets and Timothy Mozgov.
Well, it's not even going to be against Mozgov. We'll probably get it against Booker, but, not like that's a huge impediment.
I mean, I'm trying to look here.
Mozgov starts at the beginning of games, and then he'll start at like the beginning of the second half, and then he's basically got the rest of the night off.
Okay, okay, guys, here's a perfect situation of it doesn't freaking matter. Tristan Thompson has started how many games this year, Al?
Oh, I think one.
Okay, and in that one game, do you realize that he played he only played 23 minutes? Coming off the bench against Milwaukee and Orlando, he played 24 and 25 respectively. The dude's not going to play more than 25 minutes.
Okay.
Why the Cavs hate Tristan Thompson, I have no idea. But even at 20, like, we have him projected for 24 minutes. We have him projected for going probably close to 6x at $3,600. He's a great value. Unfortunately, I can't do it. Maybe in cash. Maybe, like, head-to-heads, just because he's so cheap, I can fit in Harden, Westbrook, and possibly LeBron all in the same damn lineup. Excuse my language. But I can't do Tristan Thompson and GPPs if he's gonna play only 24 minutes.
Oh, hail to the no. Well, here's the thing, right? The matchup serves him well, right? He's got a dominant game down low against the Nets. However, probably going to see a faster tempo, and that's not working so well to Tristan's skill set. So I don't know. I think you're probably going to get what you gotten out of him so far, and that's just below 20 points.
Yep.
20 fantasy points. So whatever. All right, let's talk about the Nets in this situation. Now, here's the thing, right? The Nets, they have a pretty deep rotation, so I'm not totally locked in on any one guy. I mean, D'Angelo Russell should still get enough usage to pay off on his salary. I don't need D'Angelo Russell tonight. We can look elsewhere, but he is a fine option.
Yeah, and I agree with that 100%. You don't need him. He's a good play. He's in a good situation, but he's not somebody that you're afraid that you can't live without. So I mean, that's outstanding analysis, sir.
Thank you. Now I don't need him, but I think the best dollar per point play. I can't even say that because his price sucks. But I guess if you want to go dollar per point, it'd probably be Rondae Hollis-Jefferson. I mean, $5,000 on DraftKings is sort of insane. I really like him there, and then I don't
like it. If you're playing RHJ, it's DraftKings, not FanDuel. FanDuel is 62.
Yeah, the only with FanDuel, he get those blocks and steals become, they help him out, but again, you're not guaranteed those. But yeah, Trevor Booker I think is going to have a monster night tonight. He ended up getting 3 fouls in the first quarter last night. Again, another coach, not taking him out, but 2 of those were the worst calls I've ever seen in my entire life. So I think, and Booker still had a decent game last night. It's just, he didn't play his usual amount of minutes. So I think tonight he's going to get a lot of those minutes. Now, Booker, a guy that can play with Love on the perimeter, again, I think you're going to see a lot of him on Love tonight. You see Booker even playing a lot of center. He can take Tristan Thompson out to the perimeter on the second unit. He is my favorite play from the Nets tonight. Unfortunately, we're not looking at like tournament value. We're not looking at like a 40-point game from him, but I think without a doubt he's going to reach at least 5x value on his price on both sites. 59 on DraftKings, 6,000 on FanDuel. I think like 35 is probably where we'll see Booker tonight. I just wish he was cheaper.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm trying to look and see if we can find a diamond in the rough here for the Nets. I mean, again, back to. I hope to God, because he couldn't hit the friggin' water if he fell off a boat yesterday. But
shooter's gonna shoot, man.
Indeed. So you got Crab. I think, you might even see a couple more minutes out of Joe Harris. That's an interesting play.
Here's something that we haven't talked about this year. And I don't mean to interrupt you on the Joe Harris thing. Something that we hadn't talked about with guys like with jump shooters like Alan Crabb, who aren't as active on the defensive end as we want them to, is they typically do a little bit better at home than they do on the road. Just it's a more familiar backdrop. It's, they like sleeping in their own bed, whatever. But they typically do better at home than they do on the road. Mm-hmm. And that's why I think I'm willing to go to the Alan Crabb situation over, that, and he's $1,000 cheaper than Damari Carroll.
Yeah, I could see that.
So, okay, go to your Joe Harris. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
No, I think, if we're looking for guys in the back end of it back-to-back that could see extra minutes. I mean, we've seen Harris before light it up in limited time. I mean, his last 3 games, he's played at least 17 minutes. Numbers aren't totally there, but, for a guy that's min-priced both sites, let's see, in his last 3 games, he's put up 15, 16, and 10 FanDuel points. I know, not the greatest, but he's a guy that if he gets pretty hot, things could work out well. So I guess that's probably going to be the min price punt I would maybe think about. I'm not a big fan of Damari Carroll tonight. I think you'll probably see him defending LeBron James a lot tonight. Could mean foul trouble. Could mean just more, more of an emphasis on the defensive end than the offensive end tonight.
Yep, absolutely.
All right, let's get to the next game here. We've got the San Antonio Spurs at the Miami Heat. Little finals rematch from whenever the hell that was.
2002?
No, they played.
No, I know. I was just making a reference.
Spurs 4-point favorites in this one, a total of 195.5. In terms of injuries, Kawhi Leonard, Tony Parker still out. Add Joffrey Laverne to the mix. With the ankle injury. For the Heat, a couple of interesting ones here. Goran Dragic, probable tonight. He had a little bit of a thigh bruise, but should be good to go. Deion Waiters, he's questionable with the ankle injury.
Leaning more towards out.
Leaning more towards out, so that's called doubtful in our industry.
Yeah.
Hassan Whiteside already ruled out again with the knee injury. And then, of course, Rodney McGruder going to be out for a while with the leg injury. So, given all this information that we've got at our fingertips here, this seems like a pretty easy Josh Richardson play here, especially on DraftKings where he's 5,400. Thank you very much. And then James Johnson, Kelly Olynyk, both been doing the dirty work with Hassan Whiteside out. So to me, it's pretty easy with these 3.
Yeah, Josh Richardson, James Johnson, Kelly Olynyk. If Goran Dragic is out or limited, then fire up Tyler Johnson as well. So maybe what's Wayne Ellington's price over there on DK?
Oh, I'm glad you asked. I'm glad you asked, and I wasn't ready for it. 3,500.
Okay. Yeah, he's cheaper on FanDuel. So I still don't think that Wayne Ellington's a good play, but you have to at least give it a thought, maybe like a millisecond thought if Goran Dragic is ruled out. I still, Tyler Johnson to me is still too cheap on FanDuel. He's 4,200. He's going to play 25, plus minutes against a Dejounte Murray.
DeJounte.
But I'm going to have to go look and see how many shots he put up. I don't have that in front of me, so I don't know, but especially if Goran Dragic is out. Then if Goran Dragic is out, then Jamal Crawford and Tyler Johnson become your top two value options of the day.
Yeah, now remember too, and if this does happen, Tyler Johnson won't be in the starting lineup. He's the second team Fonz. But I just realized one of the reasons why I don't think Tyler Johnson is doing as well. I think Kelly Olynyk is sniping a lot of his shots there in that second unit, so there could be something to look at. But yeah, I mean the production hasn't been there from our boy, but it's coming. It's coming soon. All right, everybody relax.
Yeah, I mean it's just kind of one of those things.
But yeah, if so facto, I mean, Josh Richardson, now I can't wait to fade him when Whiteside gets back, but while Whiteside is out, I will continue to
him and Josh Johnson.
Rock J Rich till the wheels fall off. But yeah, I mean, we laid it out. And don't forget, now we talked about possibly Wayne Ellington, Tyler Johnson. I could even get excited about some Justice Winslow in this matchup. I can tell you're not that excited. Anyone? No? Anywho, Keith's just not with us anymore.
No, I'm listening. I just
Winslow's been getting around like the 24 minutes. Production's been slighted a little bit, but again, if any of those guys are out, I could see him, picking it up a little bit more.
Yeah, he's a guy that's more active on the defensive end right now than the offensive end, in my opinion.
It's crazy, but with all these Heat guys, there's a lot of talent on this roster.
Oh, dude, there is. It's a lot of young talent.
Trying to cipher it out.
I mean, it's a lot of young talent. They're a great team as far as you never. Anybody on the floor can beat you. Like they're not there's no funnel to one or two guys on this team. Like I think the Kelly Olynyk signing was a fantastic signing for him or for this team, and I completely overlooked it the first week. Not that I don't like playing Kelly Olynyk, because I really do, but like, I wonder how many people are going to go to Kelly Olynyk at $5,500 on FanDuel. Like, is there still that mantra about Kelly Olynyk being Kelly Olynyk? Like,
I would think so. I mean, the other night, we were talking about him. What was I guess the game against Atlanta? He was pretty low owned, and he did dirt. But yeah, I mean, I think people will always hate Kelly Olynyk, but he's actually been very viable on this Miami Heat team. So don't mind. And then again too, like James Johnson and Olynyk, even with Whiteside in the lineup, they've been they did decent, but again without him, it's just whoop all the way up.
Exactly.
Let's talk about this Spurs team, because this is not our father's Spurs team here. They're actually fantasy viable here in the first week of the season. Now, your main guys here, LaMarcus Aldridge, DeJounte Murray, and surprisingly, Danny Green popped off with a big game the other night. Where are we going back to the well here for the Spurs?
Please, 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 everybody that's listening to this, go chase Danny Green. Please go chase him. Can we all just get on the Danny Green being chalk bandwagon, please?
Now, keep in mind though.
No, I want people to do that, because Danny Green is not going to break the slate again.
I I mean, my goodness, he's actually done very well this season. But you got to keep in mind, last game, 5 blocks against the Toronto Raptors, which actually elevated his total to, let's see, so that was 15 extra points, and then he had another big game, 34.8 FanDuel points against Minnesota, and he had 2 blocks and 2 steals in that one, which gave him an extra 12, would have kept him at 22. If not for the blocks and the steals. But I agree. I mean, look, the total on this game, if I'm not mistaken, is the lowest of the night, 195.5. So yeah, I mean, if there were a spot to do it, it would certainly be tonight.
It's just unbelievable.
What about LaMarcus Aldridge in this one?
No, not against James Johnson.
All right.
James Johnson's going to go MMA on his butt and just like, hello!
Oh, my God. Are you saying he's going to give him his own next
Dude,
time?
James Johnson is one of the meanest people in the NBA. I'm not going to cross that. Dude, you meet James Johnson on a back alley, you might as well just sign your will over because you ain't coming out of that alive.
Hey, now. Are you looking into James Johnson for DFS Army personal security after his NBA playing days?
Oh, he will definitely be escorting. He'll be leading my security detail at the 2025 WFBBC.
When I did the radio show in Jersey, I always had a joke that, do you remember former net Reggie Evans?
Oh, dude.
I always wanted him to be my personal security. We always joked whenever we brought nets up, like, all 2 times each year, he would be the standard security guard for the 14A sports show. So,
what happened to him?
Reggie Evans? I don't know, man. I got a great story about Evans, but I'm not going to tell it here because it'll take too long. But yeah, I don't know, man. I just, he's not a real basketball player. He's probably like he'd be great in an underground fight club, but he just does one thing on the basketball court. So.
I'll take James Johnson over Reggie Evans, though.
I'm a Reggie Evans guy, and that's pure favoritism on that one. Let's see here. DeJounte Murray. Had him twice so far this season. Just below 6K on both sites. Are you interested? Because the guy does more than just point guard stuff. The guy does it all.
Absolutely, I'm interested. I mean, the dude's had fantastic games. Besides the fro hair, he's had both games with. Look, the dude's flirting with a double-double every single time, and actually he's getting close to starting to flirt with that triple-double.
Yep.
This is a guy that I could see that when Tony Parker gets back, he still holds the starting point guard role. I think the Spurs have found the point guard of their future, and I think Tony Parker and Patty Mills are relegated to bench duty. I really and I think that his price is only going to continue to go up.
As Yankees announcer Michael Kay would say, "See ya" to Patty Mills and Tony Parker. Look, at least 30 FanDuel points in each of his 3 starts. And again, we know that Pop likes him. The minutes are going up ever so incrementally. So 20, 25, 26, 28. Hopefully we get to that 30 plateau tonight in what should be a pretty close game. So with it. All right. Let's go to the next game. Yeah, we've got the Indiana Pacers at the Oklahoma City Thunder. Keith might be interested in this one. Thunder 14-point favorites in this one. Total listed at 218. 216 here. And a couple injury notes here. Miles Turner still going to be out. This is questionable with the concussion injury today. I think he's going to be out, but whatever. Glenn Robinson III still out. Edmund Sumner still out. And then for OKC, Terrence Ferguson questionable with the ankle injury. He's only playing 10 minutes, so not a huge deal. All right, let's just get right to it. Russell Westbrook, what are we doing with him tonight?
Come on, man.
Well, it's a discussion because people are asking the question.
You play him.
Okay.
You play Russell. He's 10-8, dude.
Now, you're not worried. Now, we've talked about this, but I just want you to talk about it to the people. So you are not expecting massive ownership on Russell Westbrook at his lowest price since the Kevin Durant days.
His lowest price since he was born? No, I'm not. I'm not expecting massive ownership. And the reason why is because, like, everybody's afraid to play him because of Paul George and Carmelo Anthony. Like, they're just not going to play him. Okay. We've got, I'll say, Indiana's on the back end of a back-to-back.
They sure are.
Oklahoma City's on the front end of a back-to-back.
Let me tell you this wonderful stat about Indiana here. Ready? Indiana, 4-16 against the spread in back-to-back games on the road over the last 3 seasons. My goodness.
Well, there you go.
Yeah. And it's a 14-point spread tonight.
I'm not playing anybody from Indiana. I think that you can play Paul George. I think you can play Carmelo. I think you can play Steven Adams. I think you can play Russell Westbrook. Those are the guys that you want. I have no problems playing, and I'll get to this guy here in a second, but I have no problems playing Russell Westbrook at 10-8 because he's still going to do Russell Westbrook things. Like, the only time that he's still got, and see, here's the difference, because we'll get to this guy here in a second. Here's the difference between Russell Westbrook and everybody else at 10-8 is Russell Westbrook legitimately has 65 to 80 point upside.
Does he with this group?
Yes.
Yes,
he does. Yes, he does. And you want to know the reason? Because now he's got players that can hit shots. He can still go to the rack. Like, nothing has changed in his game. He can still go to the rack and drive and still take over a game.
Sure, but a lot of getting to eat. All right, so hold on. So a lot of getting to 80 predicates on actual real scoring, right? I mean, hitting threes, twos, getting those N1s that he always likes to get. I mean, it's a small chip away, right? So if he's assisting on those instead of getting to the basket and scoring, I mean, let's just say over the course of a game, that's like 10 fewer points. Can we agree on that?
Okay, so let's see here. Turnovers are what, -1? He would have had a 60 against the Knicks in, 3.5 quarters with the triple-double?
Yep.
Are the Indiana Pacers better than the Knicks in the point guard position, guarding him?
I would have to say yes.
I would have to say no. I think it's the same matchup.
But I would have to say yes, but it's like...
You're telling me that Darren
do you want one punch in the face or 2 punches in the face?
Yeah, there's no well, it's not even a question. He's got the upside. He's got the capability to hit the upside. Now, is he going to test that ceiling as much this year as he did last year? No, absolutely not. But I would venture to say that, he's got it easier, an easier route to 15 assists.
Right.
This year, maybe even pushing a 20 assist game at some point when George and Melo get their shot going, and he works great off the pick and roll with Steven Adams. And I think that's where you hit it. Is you don't play Russell Westbrook. Here's the thing I've been thinking about this for ever since we got Melo. Is I don't think that now with his price dropping to 10-8, and it continues to go down, I don't think that you play Russell Westbrook by himself. Because even if his ownership goes up, everybody's going to have that. But I think where we can be different, and I've talked about this from time to time on other pods, I think where we can get different is you pair him up. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
You pair him up with a Steven Adams. You pair him up with a Paul George or a Melo. You play Russell Westbrook +1. You don't play him by yourself anymore. Now, I FanDuel's tempting us.
They are.
They are. And here's the reason why. Andre Robertson put up a .2 the other night against Minnesota. Now, keep this in mind. His sole purpose against Minnesota, shut down Jimmy Butler. In retrospect, that's kind of what he did. Jimmy Butler had a horrible game.
Right.
I don't think that Victor Oladipo is of the same offensive level as Jimmy Butler. I'm not advocating playing Andre Robertson. I am saying this is something that we have to watch, is how he kind of evolves in this offense with these guys. Because his job is not to obviously score the ball anymore. He's going to get you his 8 points and some rebounds most games. He's going to play around 22 minutes or so. And a lot of it's going to be backdoor cuts and dishes to Steven Adams or, a dish from Russell Westbrook or, whatever. That's his game. He's kind of a backdoor cut kind of guy.
Yeah.
But $3,000 for a guy that's going to push 25 minutes, that's awfully, awfully, awfully enticing. And on the same aspect of that, Alex Abrinas is going to get guy that's going to get 25 minutes, $3K. That becomes enticing. Not a situation that we're playing right now, but a situation we're going to have to watch going forward.
All right. Yeah, that Paul George guy, he knows this Pacers team pretty well.
Lucas Nogueira ruled out.
Yeah, I saw that could happen.
Oh, sweet Jesus.
All right. We're all good on that game?
Yeah, I don't think we're playing anybody from Indiana. I know this is a quote-unquote homecoming for guys like Domantas Sabonis, but I'm not playing him.
Okay. Let's go to the next one here. Now, this is an interesting one. I mean, we could probably go through it pretty quickly, but Memphis Grizzlies at the Dallas Mavericks. Grizz favored by 3.5. Total of 194.5. Mavericks.
Dirk Nowitzki bobblehead night.
Oh,
One of 15 that are going to happen. Wait, how many? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. One of 8 that are going to happen throughout the course of the season.
Interesting. Okay.
One for every letter in his last name.
Now, here's the fun part, right? Well, actually, this isn't the fun part. The Mavericks 5-3, straight up and against the spread versus Memphis in their last 8 meetings. Great, good, great, grand, wonderful. Both teams are on the front end of a back-to-back. You know who they're both playing tomorrow? Each other. How you like them apples?
Is this one of those weird home and homes?
It sure as hell is, Keith. So I don't like that for any particular reason, but here's some interesting notes about the Grizzlies players. We never have any interesting fantasy notes about Mavericks players, but I just want to drop these in here real quick. Marcus Gasol has not eclipsed 40 fantasy points, DraftKings or FanDuel against the Mavericks since December 9th, 2014. Boo. Mike Conley, on the other hand, this is where things get to be good news for the Grizzlies here. At least 39 fantasy points, DraftKings and FanDuel in 2 of 3 games against the Mavericks last season. However, the only game that he did not eclipse the 39 fantasy point mark was when he played 17 minutes in a game, which was in the last week of the season. And then James Ennis III, we're looking at him to 6x tournament value in 2 straight games for him. That's all I got.
There we go.
Yeah.
I do think that no, I don't. I was trying. I'm not playing James Ennis because Harrison Barnes is a pretty capable defender. He's not an elite defender, but he is a very good defender. I mean, with JaMychal Green out, I mean, Jarrell Martin saw 28 and 20 minutes. He's 4,400. He's priced out. I mean, I guess the only place you couldn't go here tonight is Marcus Hall.
And the numbers that I laid out were not that great.
Exactly. So I wonder here, though. Nope, he's not getting minutes. Screw you.
Are we finally off the Dylan Brooks train?
Were we ever on it?
I wasn't.
No, we talked about it.
People were thinking about
we talked.
They didn't buy their tickets to the train, but they were in the lobby.
Well, we talked about it because of the way he came out.
Right.
And I don't know though, man. If he's gonna play 39, if he's gonna play 29 to 32 minutes, hold on, I'm looking to see what do we got him at in minutes here. Dylan Brooks, we've got him at 24. What's uh-oh?
D'Angelo Russell,
Yeah.
Main downgraded to doubtful Wednesday.
Yeah.
God.
Half of the if you've gotten to this point of the podcast, then fantastic, great for you because half of what we talked about is irrelevant already.
Just two things.
Oh no, there's a lot more.
Right.
But I don't know, 3,900, 32 minutes at $3,900. That's intriguing. Probably not going to go there, but it is intriguing. Other than that, I mean, this game is an easy fade for me.
Fair enough. Let's get to the next one then. We got the Utah Jazz 7-point favorites at the Phoenix Suns tonight. Total of 203 in that one. Utah has won the last 7 meetings against the Phoenix Suns. They are 4-2-1 against the spread versus the Suns in that stretch as well. Keep in mind, Utah back end of a back-to-back. They lost at the Clippers last night. Who, by the way, are they like leaps and bounds better without Chris Paul?
I don't know if they're leaps and bounds better. I did not watch a lot of that game, to be honest. I was watching the Portland game, trying to.
Right.
I kept waiting for Dame to get hot, and that didn't ever work. So if he gets hot, I maybe not just break even. I might even profit a little bit tomorrow, even considering the Jimmy Butler and Tim Hardaway Jr. fiasco.
Right. Oh, man.
So, 'cause I had Dame everywhere. But yeah.
Rodney Hood out with the calf injury. Exum, of course, out with the shoulder injury for the Suns. Bledsoe, of course, not going to play. And Devon Reed rehabbing the knee. This should be pretty quick and painless. Any love here anywhere?
For who?
Either side.
Yes.
Okay.
Abso-freaking-lutely. I love me some Ricky Rubio.
Ooh, okay.
I don't think the shooting percentage can stay as hot as it has, but I still love me some Ricky Rubio.
Okay.
He's too cheap. For what he's doing in this offense, he's too cheap. And now he has a coach that's not going to play with his minutes. He's just going to let him run out there and go.
Yeah.
I mean, can you foresee a scenario where we're paying 85 for him and not even hesitating about it later on in the year?
Yeah, because I would never do that. That's insane. Stop getting so excited about Ricky Rubio, okay?
Ricky Rubio.
Look, back end of back-to-back. We know Phoenix. It's not the greatest.
He's averaging 33 minutes a game.
I get it. But back end of a back-to-back, however early it is, you gotta look at this too, right? The Jazz just absolutely leaps and bounds more of a classy organization than the Suns. I don't mean classy like, they break shit in hotels. I mean like they're just a much better, well-rounded basketball team than the Phoenix Suns right now. I mean, I want to say the Suns are just going to rip their necks off and, shove them out in the desert in this game. But, again, back-to-back, we know Phoenix, not the easiest conditions for a road team to come into and play well. I think we're probably just going to see, like, a sloppy, like, Utah Jazz Yeomans like performance here, where they just come in, grind it out against the Suns. Maybe it's not as much of an ass kicking as we think, but they just come in, do their job, win. Not great for anybody fantasy wise.
Okay. Well, then if you're thinking that, then is this game a complete fade?
For me, yeah, I could get excited about Mike James on the Suns, but that's about it.
Okay. Interesting.
Yeah, and again, I think it's
I'm willing to go back to Josh Jackson.
Okay.
Or even possibly Marquise Chris. If this is going to be a rock 'em sock 'em down low type of game where people are going to bang bodies and scrap and stuff like that, I'll take the athletic guys over the big cloggers any day of the week. I don't want a lot of dribble drive guys, and I want guys that can kind of stretch the floor a little bit. So if this game is going to be like you're thinking it is, then those would be the guys I would have the interest in, is Marquise Chris and Josh Jackson, especially at their price right now. So Chris had a great game the other night. He looked phenomenal, finally. He has spurts like this. So
hey, I'm a Chris fan. I don't know when it's ever coming.
Well, that's the thing is you've got to ride the wave, knowing what you're doing. You can't try to predict the matchups as much because it's just like trying to predict the matchups with Josh Jackson. They're still rookies. They're still learning. Well, Chris is a second-year player, but they're still learning, and they're eventually going to figure it out and start to put some consistency together, hopefully. They're both really, really talented. And I think that could end up being a great 3-4 combo for years for the Suns if they could just get the pieces around them. If this game is like what you're saying it's going to be, and I could definitely see it going that way. I think I'm on those guys, and that would be about it. I think I'll get my exposure there instead of through Mike James.
All right. Let's get to the West Coast games tonight. So is Phoenix, but whatever. Washington Wizards 6.5-point favorites at the Los Angeles Lakers. We got a total of 229 in this game. Wizards 3-1 straight up against the Lakers in the last 4 games. I've only covered 2 of the games, and 3 of the last 4 Lakers-Wizards games have gone over the total. Terms of injuries here, we got Jason Smith going to be questionable with that shoulder injury. Played a little 4-on-4 ball, they said the other day. I guess that's what the Wizards do in practice. Going to see how it is before the game. Markieff Morris out for a while still with the abdomen injury. And then for the Lakers, Andrew Bogut could be questionable with that. He had a migraine during practice yesterday, so don't know if he's going to play. All right, the big discussion tonight. Everybody likes some John Wall. I do too. At least, all right, here's for John Wall, at least 57 DraftKings points, 51 FanDuel points, at least in 8 of his 11 career meetings against the Lakers. 2 of those 11 in which he did not hit that initial point total that I said went for at least 48 DraftKings points, at least 42 FanDuel points. He's also had at least 9 assists in each of his 11 meetings against the Lakers. All that sounds fine and dandy. And I'm going to take one of your theories and apply it here to the Wizards, where if you're going to have Russell Westbrook, you might as well have somebody along with him. Well, that guy, for me, Marcin Gortat. He's had at least 34 fantasy points. That's on DraftKings or FanDuel in 5 of his last 7 meetings against the Lakers. Now, I mentioned that Andrew Bogut news with the migraine injury. He's the only down low rim protector that the Lakers even have a sniff of, right? So, again, I have no worries that Gortat's going to do his thing. Now, keep in mind, Wall, Gortat, Lonzo Ball all involved in the latest LeVar Ball tweet scandal here tonight, so there's some extra motivation there as well. But, yeah, for me, little Montana Rice action with John Wall, Marcin Gortat tonight. I love it.
All right, you want to put Russell Westbrook and Steven Adams against your Marcin Gortat and John Wall?
I do.
Straight up?
Straight up.
All right, what are we doing? We'll figure it out. We'll figure it out later. We're running out of time. But yeah, we'll do that. Look, I'm not saying that John Wall's not in a good spot. I'm not saying that he's a bad play. I am saying that for $600 more, I can get Russell Westbrook. I am saying that for $800 less, I can get Steph Curry. I am saying that John Wall has only broke the record of 60, twice?
Right.
And I think you have more upside with Russell Westbrook. You have more upside with Steph Curry. Is John Wall probably going to get between that 45 to 55 point range? Yeah. I would put my money, and I'd probably win more times than not, that John Wall doesn't break 55 in this matchup.
FanDuel, yeah.
Yeah, I'm talking FanDuel, guys. I currently right now am not playing on DraftKings. That has nothing to do with DraftKings. I still like them and everything. It's just for basketball, I usually stick to one side at a time. Mm-hmm. I just don't think that he breaks 55. Okay. And I definitely don't think he breaks 60. I'm saying that I have a better shot of breaking 60 with Russell Westbrook or Steph Curry than I do with John Wall. And if everybody and their brother is going to be on John Wall because it's against the Lakers and because of the Lonzo Ball thing and because of the LeVar Ball and, blah, 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 and if his ownership is going to be high, nobody's going to play double high point guard tonight, guys. They're not going to do it. They're going to play one and go down. And most of the time, it's going to be Mike James. And I'm just not going to do it. I can go get Russell Westbrook, Steph Curry, and with some of this value that's opening up, I can go get Russell Westbrook, Steph Curry, and James Harden, put them in a lineup, and go.
You can. Now, look, comfortability is not a terrible thing, right? I mean, again, all these numbers that Wall has are great, but keep in mind too, right? Like, let's play the devil's advocate here. So, I mean, again, in a game against the Pacers, what if Paul George just goes absolutely bananas? What if, on the Warriors, damn well that
Paul George goes bananas, Russell Westbrook is going to have something to do with it.
Okay.
Because Paul George in this offense is not going to run a bunch of ISO ball.
True. But it's not going to be everything. And then again on the Warriors, that Steph could get sniped by any one of his teammates other than Zaza Pachulia on any given night. Like, it could be a KD, it could be a Clay, it could be Dre, it could be whatever. So we're
playing a lot of what if games, though.
right? But
John Wall
you don't have the what if with John Wall.
Yes, he does. You have Otto Porter. You have Bradley Beal. I think
we're gonna see 50 points. Like, no matter what, we're just gonna see 50 points out of John Wall. Anything else is the cherry on top. So that comfortability of the 50 points is something that I'm gonna go for tonight. I understand a lot of people are gonna be on it, but that's just one piece of the puzzle. I got other puzzles, bro. Other puzzles.
All right.
Otto Porter, way underpriced on DraftKings, $5,900 as opposed to $7,500 on FanDuel. After coming incredibly close to double-doubles in his first two games, he finally got it his last time out. Also, for Otto Porter, amazing number here. 11 steals, 3 blocks. That's 14 swipe-aways in 103 minutes this season. Fantastic. Well done, Otto. Mm-hmm. Now, I will say, if Jason Smith comes back tonight, little less production, but still going to be good enough. I don't know if it's going to be worth it on FanDuel, but DraftKings, he might break the damn internet being that highly owned tonight.
I mean, he could, yeah.
Any interest in Brad Beal here?
How many minutes did KCP play the other night? I should have had this ready, guys. I'm sorry. Shooting guard. 30, nope.
30, nope. All right, fair enough. I
do have interest in KCP, though.
Okay, I like him a little bit.
5,500 if he's going to play 30 minutes. Now, why do the Lakers hate Jordan Clarkson?
Because he's not Lonzo Ball.
Whatever. Jordan Clarkson's the best point guard.
No, I mean, like, physically, he is not the man. He is not Lonzo Ball. Like, I don't mean the same player. I just mean he's not Lonzo Ball.
No, I get what you're saying, but I might be of the minority that thinks that Lonzo Ball is way overhyped and is not going to end up not being a good NBA player. But I've been wrong before, and I'll be wrong again. So.
Oh yeah, same boat, brother.
It might be, just the constant coverage of him, but I just like. I don't know. I don't like Lonzo Ball.
I'm aware. I think he's a fantastic playmaker, but scoring, we'll get there. We'll get there.
Will we though? Will we?
Well, when I say there,
Joakim Noah type shot. Goes sideways.
Hey, look, plenty of guys have had weird shots, right? Kevin Martin, Reggie Miller. I can't believe I put Kevin Martin in front of Reggie Miller, but yeah, I mean, guys have done it before. Let's see here. I guess with the rest of the Lakers, you got some pretty damn low prices here. Julius Randle, I mean, 48.
Don't fall into the name.
44 on FanDuel. I mean, my
No,
God.
I get it. I understand it. Just don't fall into the name. Because he's not getting hardly any.
Yeah, he finally got 24 in that last game there against the Pelicans. I don't get it. You know, if you don't want him, I mean, Brooklyn will gladly take him off your hands, guys.
There's a ton of teams that'll take him.
Oh yeah. Okay, so any other interest? I mean, we got Brandon Ingram, you got Brook Lopez. Any interest in any of these guys?
Maybe a little bit of Brook.
Yeah.
Hasn't he torn Marcin Gortat a new one?
That I don't recall, but it could be. I don't remember.
I'm looking right now.
All right. Yeah, again, Nance, not too excited about that. Really, just a whole crapshoot for the Lakers.
He has had some success. He has also had some failures.
Okay. One thing I'm going to do tonight, and I'm going to do this for our Slack users only, but what I think is incredibly interesting is you run the domination station for the late slate. You get some good value out of that sometimes. So I'm going to run that today a little for the people, and we'll see what we can come up with.
Let's see if you run it for Washington, LA, Toronto, Golden State, Cleveland, Brooklyn, Houston, Philly, and Indy, OKC. That's every game over a 215 total.
Oh my goodness.
That's 5 games. You're basically cutting the slate in half.
I like
and
that.
You have
a lot of John Wall.
Well, yeah, it's a lot of John Wall and Russell Westbrook paired.
Oh, nice.
You're gonna have to stomach some things, but it's definitely gonna give you some ownership.
Okay.
So
I like that.
It might be worth throwing out there in some times.
All right. All right, let's get to the grand finale here. We're dicking around too much with that last game, but Toronto Raptors at the Golden State Warriors. Did not even see the line here. Oh, Warriors 11.5-point favorites. A total of 224 is what we started out with. Has since jumped up to 228.5. I like those numbers. Let's see here. For the Raptors, I believe Nogueira already ruled out. You said that?
Yeah.
Valanciunas also going to be out. DeMar DeRozan will play tonight. Got the thigh bruise. All good. No injuries for the Warriors tonight. Sounds good. Great, grand, wonderful. All right, what are we doing here? We got a lot of talent on the court, but we can't afford it all.
Curry,
Steph Curry. That's right.
Kevin Durant, Draymond Green, Klay Thompson. I mean,
way to narrow it down, Keith.
It's the Warriors, dude. All 4 of these guys are in play.
I know, but I said we got a lot of talent on the court. We're narrow it down, not meaning
Okay, it goes this way. It goes Steph, Durant, Draymond, Clay. Those are
Was that so hard?
it's the same four. I just narrowed it down. I also don't mind Kyle Lowry. Nice bounce back spot after last night.
Yeah, what is his deal, you think?
Dude, I don't know. It's Kyle Lowry.
Lowry.
Dude, it's Kyle Lowry. I mean, somebody posted something last night that he sucks without DeMar DeRozan in the lineup. I would beg to differ. I say he sucks at times, no matter if DeRozan's in the lineup or not. And I say he's good at times, whether DeMar DeRozan's in the lineup or not. I just don't think there's a way to kind of predict it. It was a great spot last night. Maybe the Dejounte Murray defense is a little bit better than what we thought.
That man is a freak.
So we don't know yet because we can't seem to get any DRPM numbers. So
yeah,
they're not out yet. But, we'll figure it out.
All right. Yeah, again, for me, again, we all know the big names in this matchup, right? So you mentioned him for the Warriors, again, for the Raptors.
Dwayne Wade.
He's out?
Yep.
Fantastic. All right, so for the Raptors, DeMar DeRozan, Kyle Lowry, Serge Ibaka is what I'm liking. But, again, I don't mind some – now – Jakob Poeltl, I think. But just let's get our thoughts out.
Please don't play.
Let's get let's get our thoughts out on him. But there you
go.
Don't
play Jakob Poeltl.
Now, what I am interested in is perhaps
is he mid-price actually?
No, he is not. 45 on DraftKings, 49 on FanDuel. But I could get a little crazy here, possibly like a Norman Powell, DeLon
That's
Wright.
Exactly where I was thinking.
Like a CJ Miles even, who he's really cheap. 39 on DK, 35 on FanDuel. I mean, these are.
I think you can go to CJ Miles. I like CJ Miles at 35.
Yeah, these are some interesting areas where that's what I'm talking about. Like running a query for like the last 3 games and seeing what kind of value pops up, because he didn't pop up last night, but Evan Turner, he was certainly an interesting character to have in there. Etuan Moore, guys like that who we're not even thinking about on this slate, they can prove to be very valuable at a price of absolutely nothing. Now, what the Domination Station did last night for that late slate, which helped me cash, the point guard pairing that it had, it was a lot of Ricky Rubio and Drew Holiday. Now, granted, that's not probably the pair that I would go with overall on the whole slate, but kind of makes you think okay, maybe not Lillard. Now, I liked Lillard a lot last night, but I think it's interesting from a perspective in terms of, I guess, constructing your lineup, if you will. You could try to find those areas where the value would be. So, again,
yeah, I agree.
I would totally. I'm totally going to do that for our members tonight. So, I dig it. Keep in mind here, I'm just looking at the Domination Station. Kevin Durant in 10 of 10 lineups in the 10-3 theory for FanDuel tonight. So that should be fun.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And so is Russell Westbrook in 10 of 10.
Ooh, y'all.
Would you look at them apples? All right, that should do it for today's show. Once again, you like what you heard, hit the replay button or join us at dfsarmy.com. Use that promo code podcast, get you 20% off each month of your subscription. Again, it's not just basketball that we got going on here, Keith. You know damn well we got the football going on. We got NASCAR. When golf gets back around, we got that going on too. So we got all the sports covered here. It's a glorious time to be in the ranks of the Army. Now, keep in mind here too, you've heard this part of the show, or you heard all the injury news going on. But again, Dwayne Wade going to be out, D'Angelo Russell going to be out, Jimmy Butler going to be out. Those are all things that we might have covered in terms of an analysis already. But by the time you guys hear this pod, you will have known that those guys are out.
Yes.
All right. So for me, Keith, and the rest of the DFS Army, we go.
Peace out.